Hey again, everybody. This is Tom Louie, one of the co-founders here at Smarketing CONNECT, and we're off and running on our next episode of the Smarketing CONNECT podcast. And today I'm here with one of our special guests, Nancy Zare. Nancy is one of our original Smarketing CONNECT contributors. Been with us for quite a while now. If I remember, it's almost day one. I mean, I know it's not exactly day one, but it was pretty close. And Nancy is owner. Well, you know what? I got a better idea. I'm not going to announce who you are. I'll give you the opportunity to give your little elevator spiel, which is something that I think should be more happening than the hosts saying who's going on and what's going on. So, well, without further ado, we'll get right into the questions. So, Nancy, in a few sentences, I mean, you can take more than a few if you really want, but tell us about yourself and what you're doing.
Well, thank you, Tom. I appreciate being on this program. So, Dr. Nancy Zare, I am a psychologist, hold a PhD, and I use my knowledge of human behavior, especially how people make buying decisions, to get in the mind of the other person and to provide information and guidance on how you can open a sales conversation, follow up, handle objections, and ask for the sale. So in a few sentences, I'm a sales psychologist.
I love it. I love the phrase too. I wish I coined that. so, so that was pretty quick. Your elevator pitch is pretty fine tuned. So we'll go into the next question. Basically, what size companies do you work with usually?
So my preference, Tom, is to work with the solopreneur and the small business owner. It's not a matter of income and revenue. It's a matter of working directly with the people who are out there in the trenches, prospecting and converting prospects into customers. So my preference is to work with that person in a service-based industry where honestly they're selling themselves, as opposed to selling a gadget or a widget. So these are the people who have invested in their careers by getting training, for example, a law degree, real estate license, financial planning certifications, and so forth. Consultants and coaches who've invested in developing their tool, which is themselves. And they may not have learned how to run a business or to market or sell, and that's my ideal prospect. In fact, I love the ones who say, I hate to sell.
Not realizing that everybody sells something, right? Even if it's just themselves.
It's so true, because even when we're asking our spouse or our child or our colleague to do something, that is a form of sales because you're influencing somebody to take action.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So we'll move over to the next question. Um, what would you say is a must-have tool for small businesses and why? Like, what kind of tools do you recommend your clients using?
Well, the first tool that came to mind is a computer, because for goodness sakes, if we didn't have computers nowadays, we would clearly be lost. And so computer is really important. And then, of course, then I think about various software that comes with it as opposed to equipment. But, clearly having a presence on the internet, having a presence on social media, I consider those important tools nowadays for anyone in business. It's because of the fact that you need to create visibility. If there is no visibility, you can't be found and nobody can do business with you. So at a minimum, you have to create visibility. And then the next step from visibility is to create credibility. So people have to believe not only I see you and I know what you do, but what you do I believe is valuable, it works, it makes sense, people are helped. So you have to reach that level of credibility. And so to me, those are the most important tools that a small business owner can have.
What about one that you use religiously? Is there one in particular that you use consistently and religiously?
Are you thinking now like in terms of internet and social media?
Sure. Any tool at all that you think of that you use pretty consistently.
Oh, no question in my mind. I'm a big LinkedIn and Facebook user.
Awesome.
I used to be very much in the LinkedIn community. I know it's changed a bit. And so I'm finding that more and more of my community is on Facebook.
Awesome. Awesome. So that being said, so what are some of the challenges that small business, like your clients? So what are some of the challenges that they typically are asking you to help them solve? What do they usually bring you in for?
Well, let me give an example of one that comes to mind, which was a very typical situation where you initially meet somebody and the individual indicates that they're interested in you and your service, and they may even ask you for a proposal. I mean, it may get to that place where they've made all the right, noises that they would like to hire you, and then it goes crickets. That's a very typical time when my clients knock on my door and say, help, what do I do? And I'll give you a couple of examples of things that I've done for my clients. In one case, this scenario was exactly what happened to my client named June. And I, while we were on a coaching call together, I suggested to June that she text this individual. The reason we chose text is because that was how they had communicated previously. And so she sent a text, and I suggested actually the words to use. And while we were on the coaching call, within minutes, we received a response back, and the relationship was back on track. That's the skill that I bring and that I teach my clients, how to understand how the buyer is thinking, what's going on in their mind, and then speaking that language so that you build the connection and can go on to make the sale.
Awesome. I think you've rehearsed some of this stuff because you're really within that couple of minutes per question. Um, so, what piece of advice would you give small business owners looking to hire a sales and marketing agency? So let's say you meet somebody that is outside of your comfort zone, and it's, and you're going to recommend or you're going to suggest they ask a marketing agency or a sales professional. What are some of the what are some of the advice that you give them while they're in that process?
Well, again, most people do not realize that they are in the marketing of their business, not in their business.
Yeah.
In other words, let's say I am my financial advisor. Well, yes, I am trained to do financial advising, but I'm actually in the business of marketing financial advising services. And that's what people don't understand. And many people get discouraged because their education, their training has been in their particular occupation and profession rather than in the marketing of it. Marketing is absolutely key. Hence, marketing is so necessary for people to turn to folks for whom this is their business. They do know how to generate leads. They do know how to convert leads into paying customers. So the best advice I give is go get yourself the right coach, the right professional person who can take care of those things so that you can do the business of what you were trained to do.
Awesome. Okay. So this question I had to throw something in there that was a little left of center because I think sometimes we take ourselves a little too serious when we do these podcasts and we're all about business and we forget that we're all human, right? So but the question is, if you could be any superhero, who would you be and why?
Wonder Woman. She's gorgeous. She has amazing powers. She's able to help humanity. I mean, who wouldn't want to be Wonder Woman if you're a female?
Female, I know guys that would like to be Wonder Woman just the sheer fact of how aggressive and dominant she is. Never mind, like I mean, forget male, female. That doesn't even matter at this in this particular case. And the woman who plays the current Wonder Woman, I forget her name. It's like Gadette something or other. Um, she's fierce, right? Like she's amazingly strong. So I like Wonder Woman. How
Yeah.
would you spin that? How would you use that into a business sense? How her character pushes you forward in a business sense?
So you mentioned a moment ago, as you were saying, even men might like to be that, is because of her presence. You didn't
Yes.
use that word, but I'm going to use that word to summarize what you said. Years ago, I heard people talk about posture and presence. And honestly, Tom, I didn't know exactly what they meant. I knew that it would be a good thing to have, but I didn't know how you acquired it. But posture and presence is everything. It's about confidence. It's not about the fact that you're using physical strength to dominate somebody. It's about the fact that within yourself is a steel, core, a core of strength. And that strength, that belief in yourself and in your ability to help and affect other people. That is what I think is the quality of Wonder Woman.
I don't think I could have said it any better, and I think I agree 100%. So, okay, so here's an opportunity for you to give a shout out to a colleague and maybe make a suggestion on who you think might benefit from, or who our audience might benefit from having as a guest on the podcast. Do you know anybody in the sales and marketing world that you think might be a good fit for this podcast?
So a couple people come to mind. One I know is a member of Smarketing CONNECT, and that's Tom Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Tom is an amazing marketing strategist. In fact, in talking with Tom, we laugh about the fact that he's a combination of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, because of the fact that he has the smarts and the brains to think of the overall plan, but he also can execute like Tom Brady and be very accurate in running plays. So if you don't know Tom Kaminsky, meet him. He's just amazing in terms of helping you brand your business and helping you position yourself in that way. And the other person, Tom, I don't think you know, her name is Jessica Miller, and she is a mindset coach. And I don't know a person on this planet who doesn't need to examine their thinking and be able to pull their thoughts coherently and forcibly and understand their beliefs so that they can act like Wonder Woman and they can have that sense of confidence as they go about their business. And Jessica is a business coach, but specifically she focuses on one's thinking, one belief system, and hence when you clear up your mindset, you are unstoppable.
Awesome. And then the last slide we have here for everybody is how to get in touch with Nancy. So Dr. Zare, if you don't mind me saying that, your name is up on the screen for everybody to see. Your website is also up there, rapportbuilders.com. The phone number is on your website, so I felt comfortable putting it up here. And then there's an email there that you can, I would assume, goes directly to you if somebody wants to reach out to you via email. Aside from what's on the screen there, is there any other way that you could think of that somebody would want to get in touch with you?
Of course, they can text me using that phone number.
Excellent.
And the other thing is, if they mention that they've listened to this podcast, then I will give you a free gift. That free gift is the 4 magical questions that are guaranteed to build rapport with each of the 4 personality styles. So feel free to ask that. And in relationship, I'll just quickly mention that I do have a book that is a bestseller, international bestseller on Amazon, Words That Sell with Style. And so if you're curious to know more about how to use the right language to help you connect quickly and authentically with your prospects, I recommend that book.
Awesome. And I forgot about the book. I apologize. I probably should have brought that up before because that's very cool. And I didn't order the book yet, but I did read a snippet of it because on Amazon you get to read a little bit of snippet. It was very cool. I think people will like it. So Nancy, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm gonna shut off the recording now so that people so that I can just chat with you offline, and then we can